Edward Carson was born in Dublin in 1854. It's no surprise, therefore, that he had a strong Dublin accent. As a young boy and teenager, he showed some promise as a hurler, and he became a successful barrister, with his most celebrated case being the prosecution of Oscar Wilde. It might come as some surprise, therefore, that Edward Carson became leader of the Ulster Unionist Party in February 1910. Edward Carson believed that Home Rule would be a disaster for Ireland. He felt he could use the opposition to Home Rule in Ulster to prevent Home Rule being introduced to the rest of Ireland. Carson, like most Unionists, believed that Ireland benefited greatly from being part of a political union with Great Britain, and that Ireland as a whole would suffer by weakening that connection. Carson opposed Home Rule for three main reasons. Firstly, a religious reason. The vast majority of Ulster Unionists were Protestant, and they feared that Home Rule would be Rome Rule. By this they meant that the Catholic Church would dominate life and laws of a Home Rule Ireland. Secondly, there was the economic considerations. The economic concern about Home Rule had to do with the fact that the northeast of Ireland was the industrial heartland of the country. Unionists feared that business would suffer under a Home Rule Parliament, and that the northeast would lose industry to other British cities. In fact, they felt that under a Home Rule Parliament, the northeast would become as poor and as impoverished as the rest of Ireland. Finally, there was the political reason. Unionists felt very proud of their Britishness. They felt very proud to be part of the great British Empire. The British Empire ruled the world, and Ireland was part of that. Unionists felt that Home Rule would not only be bad for Ireland, but it would also weaken the Empire as a whole. The Unionists' worst fears seemed to come to pass when, in 1911, the Parliament Act abolished the Lord's veto. This meant that Home Rule was now a distinct possibility, and it looked like Home Rule would be introduced to Ireland by 1914 at the very latest. Edward Carson, along with James Craig, were determined that that would not happen.